welcome to this session. This is a session on entrepreneurship development. We have been talking about several aspects of an entrepreneur's areas of concern. In this episode, we will be dealing with the human resource issues involved uh, when you're looking at an organization. And within the ambit of human resources, what we will talk about today are leadership issues, which are very important, very central to the theme of entrepreneurship. The entrepreneur himself is a leader, is expected to be a role model for leaders within the organization. He is also supposed to create leaders within the organization. And therefore, leadership occupies a very special place in the mind of the entrepreneur. And this is what we will discuss today.
So just to interrupt you, can
Yep.
leaders be created? I mean, leaders are born.
Very pertinent question, and there have been theories dwelling on that particular question only. We will examine that also in the course of our discussions here today, or maybe in some other episode. But then, to start with, I think let's find out what is the difference between, a leader and a manager, because so long in our discussions we have been harping more on managerial issues, okay, within the organization. Now we are taking a somewhat different kind of a turn, and we are looking at what is leadership, and is there a difference between leadership and management? Is there a difference between a leader and a manager? In fact, many a times in organizations you will find that people are somewhat confused about this, and they don't seem to distinguish between a leader and a manager. But there are very strong differences between the two issues. A leader and a manager are different entities, really speaking. So, what is the difference? This is what we would first of all like to address. Now, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, sir. First of all, like one important feature is that leaders should have followers. So
Okay.
this is one difference, and managers they don't have followers. They what do like the people who are working under them are known as subordinates.
Okay.
So leaders influence these their
The followers.
followers, but managers never influence. They only guide or they just delegate certain orders to the subordinates.
Okay, fine. But Debalina, don't you think that managers will also be successful or effective as managers when their subordinates become followers of the manager?
Yes, sir.
So there is a link also. I mean, it is not correct to say that leaders are not are not managers, or managers for that matter are not leaders. That is also not correct to say. There are areas of overlap between the role of a leader and the role of a manager.
So we can
Okay.
say that managers should acquire a quality of leadership.
Okay.
To some
Okay.
extent, they
And-
should have, I think, leadership qualities, but then they should not be only leaders.
They should also be something
Some-
other than being leaders.
Leaders.
Okay, so fine. You are saying that there are certain qualities which need to be there in a leader as well as in a manager, but then all the functions are not the same. There is some area of overlap. Okay. Now, just give a thought to this particular question. What is it that the management in an organization is supposed to be concerned with? What is the most important thing that they do within the organization?
I think they are given appropriate rights and duties.
They have some formal powers.
They are assigned the rights and the duties. But for a leader, they are predefined. Leader himself decides what are his authority, what
Okay.
he is going to do. But managers are given those rights and duties.
Okay, fine. Now
That
see,
is a
just
very
let's
different.
let's look at what Piyush has said. He is saying that a leader is does not wait for someone to give him a role,
They
to
emerge.
assign him a role. They emerge. Leaders emerge. Okay, and
Managers are
are appointed. Managers are allocated to a particular role, and they are given functions and powers are delegated to them, which they carry out within the organization, and they try to achieve the goals of the organization with the help of those powers. Okay, fine. I think we are coming down to a consensus where we can, I think, safely say that management, starts later than leadership. There has to be, first of all, some kind of a leadership, and this can lead to management functions within an organization, whatever the organization might be. Not just a business organization; it can even be a non-business kind of an organization. So the role of management is to deal with the day-to-day complexity of things, right? They would allocate resources, they would set goals maybe, and even try to mobilize resources in trying to achieve those goals.
And leadership is more visionary.
Leadership is more visionary, absolutely pertinent. The leader needs to have a vision, he needs to have a dream, and this dream or the vision will become the goal for the manager to achieve.
And that is why the scope of leadership is much more wider than a manager.
Absolutely. So the leader has got a wide scope of activities, and he is not someone who is really concerned with the day-to-day carrying on of the activities trying to achieve those goals, but then one cannot say that he is not connected with that. But the manager is more preoccupied with pre-assigned tasks and pre-assigned goals which he has to achieve by the utilization or maybe the best utilization of the resources which are made available to him. The whole concept of leadership is a much bigger issue within which management could be looked upon as some kind of a subset, actually.
So
Okay.
I was telling, like,
Yeah.
can we say, like, managers with having the ability to influence other people to extract out better productivity can see it as a leader?
In fact, that takes us onto the definition of leadership, and we would like to say this, that leadership is the ability to influence a group, exactly what you are saying, towards the achievement of goals. So how does a leader influence other people or other groups of people to achieve a dream or a vision that is his own, let's say? Okay, now the point we were trying to make some time back, we come back to this point, that where does a leader derive this power from? In order to lead a group, he needs to have some kind of a power. We all appreciate that. Without power, you will not be able to lead. Who gives you this power? Where from do you derive this power? If you are to become a leader, or let's say for any leader, where does he get this power from?
I think from within himself. That is the willpower, first of all. I think the will,
Okay.
the determination.
Okay, one thing is
That
he
is-
himself has got an urge to lead because he has got a dream or a vision, and there is something that drives him towards the achievement of that dream, and this is what gives him the power. But is that the only source of power for a leader? Will that be sufficient for a leader to be effective?
So maybe his self-confidence level or some ambition, high-end ambition.
Okay, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, that there are certain qualities within the leader himself which make him, strive to achieve certain goals, and that is why he is a leader and not everybody is a leader. But then I'm also trying to make a point here by saying that the power to carry on with this job of leadership is many a times given to the leader by the followers. The power in the leader is vested by the followers who are under such an influence by the leader that they are willing to follow him towards the achievement of the goal. Now here, when we're talking about an organization where leaders are most likely in managerial roles, okay, therein we have to remember that the power is vested in the leader by virtue of the position that he holds in the occupation, in the organization. Yeah. So, trying to conclude what is the difference between management and leadership, we would say this, that a manager may be somebody who is given a leadership role in an organization and vested with certain formal authority in order to carry out the functions of the organization, trying to achieve the goal of the leader of that organization, which is possibly the entrepreneur himself. Okay. So then, so finally, I think we would like to say what is important here is leadership is about coping with changes. Okay. And it is not just a question of achieving the goals set by the organization on a day-to-day basis, but then trying to guide the organization in a certain direction or change the direction of the organization as a whole. That is why leadership roles are far more important. I think we'll take a short break at this point in time, and we'll come back and look at some of the theories behind leadership. Like, for example, we'll talk about the trade theories of leadership after we come back from the break. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. Before going into the break, we had tried to introduce the difference between leadership and management. However, we need to add to this that by saying this, that an organization needs effective leadership as well as effective management. It is not either or. We need both of these functions to be carried out effectively in an organization for it to be successful. Now, and as we looked into the discussions between this discussion which tries to discriminate between a leader and a manager, we found that, and as some of you already said also, leaders emerge, leaders are born with certain qualities. Now, if this is so, then we need to look at what are those qualities that make a leader. What are those characteristics which are typical of successful leaders? And this is in fact the basis of many a study, what we refer to as the trade theories of learning. Lots of researchers in this area have carried out studies trying to find out what are those magical traits which make leaders out of men. Okay, can you think of certain traits that are characteristic features of leaders?
I think determination.
Determination. Okay.
Iron-willed.
Strong will. Fine. A leader needs to have a very strong will. Otherwise, he will not be able to go on trying to achieve whatever he has set his mind.
Decisive. He is decisive
Decisiveness. Okay, he needs to be able to decide on things.
So
and
then
he is very
urge to
confident.
lead.
He needs to be self-confident.
So ambitious.
Desire to
That
lead.
is very important, I suppose.
Okay, a leader has to be ambitious. He needs to have a lot of ambition, correct?
So first of all,
You
he
said
should-
something?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I say that he should have an urge to lead, desire to lead people.
Fine, he himself needs to have that urge to lead other people. Not everybody has that urge, but then a leader needs to feel that, well, it is upon him to lead a certain number of people and take them along towards achievement of a certain goal, which is going to be beneficial to the entire group, not only to him. Okay? Any other?
So he should have job relevant knowledge.
Absolutely. I mean, he needs to. Why would people respect a leader? They would respect him primarily because he knows something more than what they know about the jobs that will have to be carried out.
So high
Okay.
self-monitoring, sir. Because here, like first of all, what I think, like to influence a follower, a leader must know or must understand himself very
Excellent.
to the depth of his knowledge, sir.
Absolutely.
Because
What we mean by self monitoring is this, that a leader needs to monitor himself very closely because he knows that it is a goal that he has set for himself and he will have to achieve it regardless of whether he is supervised by somebody else or not. Who will guide the leader? The leader himself will guide himself. Okay. So he needs to have a lot of self monitoring upon himself.
And I think he needs to be a very good orator because
He needs to be,
all-
well, I would say he needs to be a very good communicator.
yeah.
Communicator.
While oratory skills are important because he would normally be someone who would talk a lot to other people. There are lots of people.
But then it
uh,
is
who-
important to listen even.
It's equally important to listen. He needs to understand the group that he is leading. He needs to understand the problems of the followers, and therefore he needs to be a very good listener also. At the same time, he needs to be able to communicate the ideas that he has in mind. He needs to be a good speaker. He needs to be able to communicate ideas very well. Fine. So, all of you have mentioned very good qualities of leaders, and this is what the trait theories of leadership have tried to do. They have tried to go into the personalities of successful leaders in various countries, in various walks of life. They tried to analyze what made those people different from other people who were non-leaders. Okay, and as a result of these studies, they found that there are many characteristics, however, but then the most outstanding characters which separated the leaders from the non-leaders, were found to be about 7. And I'll just read out to you what those 7 traits have been. One of the traits is ambition and energy, which you did mention. A leader needs to have a very strong ambition, and he knows because the ambition is set very high, the goals are set are very tough to achieve. Therefore, he also understands that he needs to be highly energetic. He will have to be very, very enthusiastic, and to the point that he has to be so very enthusiastic about the goal that he kind of radiates that enthusiasm, and it rubs off onto the other group members in his group, and they all share the vision and the goal that is the leader's dream. So, very high levels of ambition, very high levels of energy are some of the important hallmarks of almost all successful leaders. A second trait is the desire to lead, which you mentioned. A leader is someone who dreams to lead. A third trait is referred to as honesty and integrity. Very important. The leader has to have the complete faith and trust of the followers. And this is only possible when the followers perceive him to be 100% honest about the purpose, and he is considered to be someone who is above board, whose integrity is unquestioned. Okay, like his desire for fulfillment of the goal is unflinching, and it is only then that people are going to repose their confidence and trust in that leader.
So I feel that the leader himself should be honest to himself and his work as well. That
Absolutely,
is
he
very,
needs
very
to be
important.
honest to himself, to his followers, and to his work. So it's honesty all round. Without honesty, you really cannot become successful leaders. Although you might question that there are different fields in which you'll find people who have gone up in life and assume leadership roles who are hardly honest. But then we are talking about classical leadership, and where a leader has to be looked upon as some kind of a messenger of God who is honest and who is going to deliver us and take us to the goal. Okay, so he needs to be someone who is very, very honest to his purpose. The next trait we'll talk about is self-confidence. This goes without saying, self-confidence, without which a leader is incomplete. Somebody who doubts himself can never be a leader. Somebody who has complete faith in himself and backs himself under all adversities, against all odds is someone who possibly can become a leader. There will be, as we say, the goal is going to be very tough to achieve, and the journey is going to be very difficult. There will be points in time where the leader will, where the followers will question. They will be in doubt whether we will really be able to achieve the goal. Now, that's where the leader needs to be steadfast. He needs to believe in himself and the goal that he has set, and he needs to believe that we will be able to achieve that goal as a group. Another trait, which is a very common trait among all effective leaders, is intelligence. Basic intelligence has to be very high. He needs to be able to, grab issues quickly. He cannot be someone who does not seem to understand complex issues. He needs to be someone who can, simplify many issues and see the real meaning behind issues. Okay, the world is going to be difficult and complex, and the leader is someone who is going to see through all this and bring out the simple meaning behind complicated issues. It's only then that he will be able to explain things to the people who would follow him. People will very easily, taken aback by the complexity of the problems, and it's a leader who is going to clarify and bring about the simple meaning of the issues behind. Okay, intelligence. She mentions high self-monitoring is a very important trait. We will not repeat that because we have explained what self-monitoring is. The leader needs to monitor himself, supervise himself, motivate himself, because who will do it for him? He himself has to be self-driven. Okay. And I think Shatanik mentioned about another very important trait, the job-relevant knowledge. What is the job that needs to be done in order to achieve the goals we have set? And the leader needs to understand inside out about what are the activities required to be carried out. How else will he expect to explain things to other people who would look up to him for support? So he needs to understand the job, the details of the job. As far as possible, he should be able to do the job himself. Okay, people respect those leaders who can do the jobs of the subordinates. Now, so all these things which we have discussed have been found to be quite common in all those successful and effective leaders in the various walks of life. Okay, fine. So then we turn our focus to our discussion on, now we have been talking about traits. Traits is what make up the personality of an individual. So we really are talking about a collection of traits that make up the personality of the leader. Okay, so a discussion or a reference to personality as a construct will not be out of point. What is personality? What is personality?
So it is the sum total, or it is the aggregate of the ways of how an individual reacts with a situation or with other people, like how is he
Okay.
speaking to, how is he
That is his,
interacting with
environment.
others.
That is his environment.
Do not forget that personality as a word is derived from the word persona,
Person.
which means what? It means it's a mask.
Mask.
The word persona means mask. So it is how the world sees him. The personality of an individual is how the world sees him. Okay, that's the mask he puts on. I'm not saying that he puts on something different from what he is, but then that is how the people around him see him. And lots of work has been done in the area of personality, trying to understand what are the personality traits of a leader, which we have also discussed. And if you refer to the theories of personality, and we talk about something called the Big Five model of personality, then we will find certain traits which you'll find are very common to what we have just discussed about a leader. Like one of the Big Five traits of personality is something called extroversion. What is the meaning of the word extroversion?
So that
Outspoken person,
He's
a gregarious
outspoken.
person, assertive person. also.
Correct.
He may be
An
sociable.
extrovert person is someone who is sociable, who goes out of his way to cultivate the
Interact.
acquaintance of some other individuals and tries to share life experience with them. Gregarious, okay, trying to interact with people across different cross sections. Okay, so that's extroversion. Somebody who is very reserved and
He can't
inward
be a
looking
leader, I think.
perhaps will not succeed so much in a leadership role, because after all we have said that a leader needs to interact with people. The followers are going to emulate what the leader will do, so he will have to interact with people, and an extrovert or an extroversion in the personality of the individual is only going to help him become a leader. Okay, So, do you see the link between extroversion as a personality trait and
the
what we
leadership
have
as a
said,
quality.
and leadership as a quality? Very strong overtones between these two issues. Okay, agreeableness is another, one of the big five traits of personality. What do we mean by agreeableness?
It is cooperative.
An individual who is cooperating with others, someone who is warm
Friendly.
and friendly and
Or
trusting of
trusting,
others.
like other followers can trust upon this.
Yeah, right. As
upon
much
the
as he
leader.
will trust others will also feel like trusting him.
Trusting him.
So that is an agreeable individual. Okay. Now, do remember that leaders at some level need to be very agreeable, because after all, people need to repose their faith and confidence in that individual. But then the leader also has to know that he has to understand what is to be shared with that individual and what is not to be shared with him. He needs to exercise some kind of a discretion on how much to share and what not to share and what to withhold, because he has got a bigger goal to achieve. Okay. Another of the big five traits of personality is conscientiousness. What is the meaning of this word, conscientiousness?
Like responsible, reliable.
Correct.
He's organized.
Such an individual is reliable, he is responsible, he is well organized about what he goes about doing, and he is someone who can be depended on. So I think these things are quite relevant to a leader. Okay, a leader needs to be someone that people can depend on. He needs to be very organized about his work, otherwise he cannot get a lot of work done in a short span of time. He takes responsibility for the results, obviously he does. Fine, so this is one trait you'll find is very close to the heart of the leader. There's something called emotional stability. Who is an emotionally stable individual?
So who does not get hyper in situations?
I
where
think,
Correct.
I
other
think a
people-
person who is not rattled by the situation. That is
Someone
what-
who is not rattled by the situation, someone
he
who can
rules
stay
the
calm.
situation. Who rules the situation
rules the
rather
situation.
than situation ruling that person.
Absolutely, the situation cannot get the better of him. He always has control over the situation. He remains
He
calm
feels
in the
always
face of
secured
adversity.
in any kind of
He feels
situation.
secured, although the situations may not be very conducive, but then he still maintains his calm and self-confidence.
So
He
here we
remains
can
stable.
directly link that trait self-confidence
Yeah.
with this big five trait.
That is right. Self-confidence will be there only if a person is emotionally stable. Otherwise, he will, break down in the face of adversity. And a leader is not expected to do that. He is not even expected to show his emotion.
Exactly.
When the chips are down, a leader is not expected to show the emotional instability which might be there within himself.
Because if he shows it, his followers will automatically be demotivated by the entire
Absolutely.
situation.
So he will have to handle that
Actually,
emotion
his
and remain
weakness will
stable.
be, then brought in
Forward.
front of
That's
the
right.
followers.
And he cannot afford to do that. He needs to have absolute control over his own emotions. And the last of the five traits we talked about is the openness to experience. What is this? Somebody who is willing to experiment with new ideas, someone who is
curious.
looking.
Creative.
So
Correct.
frankly
Who's
saying,
creative.
Risky, risk-taking.
I think
He is
innovative.
risk taking, he is innovative, he wants to be creative, and he's
And he's
sensitive at the
willing
same
to
time.
learn.
He wants to learn from situations and experiences. He's curious, and because of all this, he is very sensitive. Okay, ultimately, this is important. Because of all the experiences that he goes through, he becomes a very sensitive individual, and because he has to work with people, and there are people who have got different sensitivities, so he needs to be someone who is quite sensitive to their sensibilities. Okay, so that's again, I think, something which has got a very close bearing with a leader's personality traits. Fine, I think we have tried to understand what are the different traits that make up the personality of a leader. We have tried to correlate those with the basic theories of personality, the Big Five model of personality traits. And we find that there are very strong correlations between the traits that have been talked about in connection with personality and those that are shared by a leader in practical situations. Fine, I think we come to the end of this episode. We have run out of time, and maybe we come back and discuss about certain other theories in the next episode that we discuss, particularly the behavioral theories of personality. Okay, have you understood what has gone on?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.